We've got some fascinating sources here that dive deep into how these technologies are all kind of weaving together and what that might mean for, well, for everyone, really.
Yeah, it's really interesting how these technologies, blockchain, Web 3.0, and cryptocurrency, almost build on each other, to kind of create this foundation for the metaverse.
Okay, so break that down for me a little bit. What exactly are we talking about here?
Well, think of blockchain as like a shared, secure record-keeping system. And then you've got Web 3.0, which is, like the next evolution of the internet. And one of the big things about Web 3.0 is this emphasis on decentralization. And then, of course, you've got cryptocurrency, which is that digital currency that enables transactions within this whole new landscape.
So it's like they all fit together, right?
Yeah,
You can't really have one without the others if you want this metaverse thing to actually work.
exactly. And it all comes together to allow for secure ownership and, the ability to form communities within these virtual
Which
spaces.
is where the whole like future of work thing comes in, right? I mean,
Yeah.
our source material kind of hints that this foundation, this blockchain Web 3.0
Mm,
crypto thing, it allows people to like move beyond just being users in the metaverse to actually becoming owners and operators.
right.
It talks about opportunities for, starting businesses, working for companies that exist entirely within the metaverse. Like I was reading about people creating and selling digital assets, virtual clothing, art, even real estate. It's like a whole new type of economy emerging, and it's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. And it's not just about, making money. The source material really emphasizes this idea of the metaverse as a platform for personal expression, for innovation. Like it's a space where you can truly create and build whatever you can imagine.
Which is exciting, for sure. But the sources also don't shy away from some of the potential downsides,
Right.
right? Like the increasing role of automation, for example.
Right, right. The sources point to uh, a whole range of jobs, traditional jobs that could, potentially be taken over by robots. We're talking about like police officers, fighter pilots, construction workers, manufacturing jobs, even jobs that involve data processing and information analysis.
And that brings up this whole conversation about universal basic income, right?
Mhm.
Like if robots are going to be doing all the work, how do we make sure people can still, support themselves?
Yeah.
The source material definitely suggests that this is a conversation that's gaining traction.
Absolutely. And it really makes you question the very nature of work itself. Like, if machines are taking over all these roles, what does that mean for us? What will the future of work actually look like?
Well, the source material kind of points to this idea of a decentralized digital economy, right? One that's not controlled by like a single government or corporation, but is instead distributed across a network using blockchain for transactions and ownership. It's like a whole new economic system built on these emerging technologies.
Yeah, and within that system, you have new forms of work developing, new types of jobs that just wouldn't have been possible before. It's not so much about work disappearing entirely, but more about it transforming into something, something completely new.
So like instead of working in a factory or an office, you might be working in the metaverse, building virtual worlds, creating digital assets, managing online communities.
Exactly. It's a whole new landscape with
Yeah.
new rules and new possibilities. And it's going to require new skills and new ways of thinking.
Which brings us to another interesting point the source material touches on. This whole idea that tariffs, those taxes on imported goods, they might not actually be the solution to bringing manufacturing jobs back to America.
Right, right.
The sources suggest that automation is actually a much bigger factor when it comes to job displacement.
Yeah.
Like, even if we bring those jobs back, they might just end up being done by robots anyway.
It's definitely something to consider. I mean, it's a complex issue and there's no easy answer.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're going to try to sum all of this up for our listener, I think the key takeaway here is that these technologies, blockchain, Web 3.0, crypto, the metaverse, they're all kind of converging to create a pretty significant shift in the future of work.
For sure.
We're seeing potential challenges to traditional jobs because of automation, but also like a whole bunch of new opportunities popping up within these virtual economies.
Absolutely. It's a time of, both disruption and possibility.
Which leads us to a final thought for our listener to ponder. As these digital and virtual worlds become like more and more intertwined with our lives, what skills and approaches do we need to develop to actually thrive in this new landscape?
Mm.
Like, how do we navigate this increasingly blurry line between work and play? It's something to think about.
It is. It's a big question, and I think the answer's still being written.
Exactly.